bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Kujantam Rama Rameti Madhuram Madhuraksharam Aruhya Kavita Shakham Vande Valmiki Kokilam Manojabam Marutatulya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Vatatmajam Vanarayuta Mukhyam Sri Ramadutam Shirasa Namami Apadam Apahartaram Dataram Sarvasampadam Lokabhiramam Sri Ramam Bhuyo Bhuyo Namamyaham Dakshine Lakshmano Yasya Vame Cha Janakatmaja Purato Marutir Yasya Tam Vande Raghunandanam. Welcome back for another session of Srimad Ramayana. We're going to continue chapter 50 onwards. We have come to somewhere in the middle of chapter 50, and we're going to go on from there to a few more chapters till Ramachandra enters Dandakaranya forest and walks towards Bharadwaja Rishi's ashram to ask a suitable place for them to stay for the duration of 14 years. We will not get to actual conversation with Bharadwaj Muni, but that's the preparation for it. So we're going to discuss a important section and meet an amazing devotee of Lord Ramachandra today. So let me tell you a story, and I'm going to connect the story later. This is a story by one of the commentators of Ramayana. And they refer to the Skanda Purana, but I have not read Skanda Purana, so I cannot confirm or deny. But there were some sages who were associating together, and they were chanting the names of Lord Ramachandra, or the holy names, together for many, many, many years. One day, an ordinary person from a village, local village, approached one of the sages and appealed to that sage, please help me, please give me some instruction or advice, because I find myself in a very severe, distressful condition. So please help me please tell me how I can help myself out of this situation. So the sage looked at this person and said, the only solution I have for you, which is very, very effective, is chant the name of Rama 3 times. Rama, Rama, Rama. The villager became very happy, folded his hands. At that time, villagers were simpler. Instead of asking, but give me something practical, he understood that is the most practical solution. He went away. Then the other sages who were there, they were a little disturbed by this sage's advice, and they cursed the sage, their fellow sage. They cursed. They said, "You're unfit to be a sage. We curse you to become a low-born, that you will be born in a lower category of human species, more like a tribal person." So then this sage asked, what did I say wrong? I said that is something that is so consistent with the Vedic teachings, chanting of the holy name. And the sages said, yes, you said is what you said is consistent, but your faith in the holy name is not strong. Because if you had strong faith in the holy name, you would have told the person that you have to chant Ramachandra's name only once. Why three times? Hmm? The name of Ramachandra is powerful enough, even once chanted, can dispel all distresses of life. So why should he chant three times? Because you told him three times, it's an indication that your own faith is not strong. Okay. So then we'll stop here and we'll continue this Ramayana story and we'll pick this one up later. One may wonder, and I'm anticipating someone will ask, why not? What is the problem with chanting Rama name three times? In the Hare Krishna mantra also, there are Ramachandra's name follows three times in succession. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So the three times Ramachandra. So the point is not one time or three times. The Vedic scripture says once is sufficient. Now, when something uh, big like this happens, you cannot dissect to find the logic in it. And the parallel for it is King Indradumna. He was sitting in front of his spiritual master and constantly nodding like this. So the spiritual master cursed him. You're just nodding your head like a dull elephant, become an elephant. Or in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we have the example of sage cursing Yamaraj, that this punishment that you're giving me of poking me with a spear or something, because when I was young and I was poking ants and insects with a straw, this kind of punishment is illogical. When I was a child, I didn't know what I was doing. You're not fit to be Yamaraj. I curse you to be a low-born person. So they're all orchestrations for these great persons to meet the Supreme Personality and become even more successful in their own pursuit of spiritual life. Okay. So this person, this sage who was cursed by the other sages, became a lowborn, born in the family of the Nishadas. Nishadas are tribals who wander around in the forests. And this person became Guha, who we're going to meet today. So when Ramachandra, Sita Devi and Lakshmana on the other side of the Ganges, they bid farewell to Ayodhya, where we left off. Ramachandra offered prayers to Ayodhya, and then they crossed the Ganges river. They crossed a river and came into the Syandika river and came into this province. And as soon as they came to the banks of the other side of the Syandika river, Guha, who was the king of the tribals, Nishadas, arrived with all his ministers, his entire retinue, and brought plates of well-cooked rice, vegetables, very delicious beverages that you get in the forest, and received Ramachandra, Sita Devi, and Lakshmana, and sat them down. And Guha said, "My dear Lord Ramachandra, I am very, very fortunate and honored that you have arrived in my kingdom. In fact, my entire kingdom, my belongings, anything that I have is all yours, including all these food preparations. They're meant for you. Please accept it." And Valmiki Rishi refers to Guha as a very, very fond and dear friend of Ramachandra. In fact, the way Ramachandra considered Guha is that his friendship with him was such that he considered Guha someone equal to himself. Equal to himself means most people are severely in love with themselves. And to consider someone as dear as one's own self shows the sense of intimacy. The phrase used is Atma Sama Sakha. Atma Sama is equal to one's own self, Sakha, friend. And so Guha represents um, this friendship with the Lord. In Nectar of Devotion, Rupa Goswami describes that in Sakhya Ras, there are a couple of features. One, that a friend is a friend of Krishna or a friend of Ramachandra is one who is constantly concerned with the welfare and best interests of their friend, Sri Ramachandra or Sri Krishna. And that they will do anything and everything in their capacity to comfort and meet the needs of their friend. That's what friendship means. A friend in need is a friend indeed. Um, so Guha represents one of the best friends. In fact, somewhere later, Ramachandra refers to these persons and he says that I actually thought we were four brothers, but actually we are seven, not four. And the three that he includes as family is Guha, who's a tribal, not an elevated person, actually very uncultured, very unsophisticated, and uneducated. Uh, Guha, then Sugriva, who is not even a human being, he's a Vanara, a monkey, and Vibhishana, who's not even an animal, he's a Rakshasa. In fact, Rakshasas are man eaters. But Ramachandra made the best of friendships with these three categories of persons: tribals, monkeys, and man eating Rakshasas. Still, that is the nature of Ramachandra's character. So, back to the beginning of Ramayana, when Valmiki Rishi asks, Konaswin Sampratam Loke Gunavan. Uh, so, that Gunavan, although we say is one with qualities, particularly the quality that's being referred to here is Saushilyam that we've discussed. Saushilyam means good character. And when we discussed Saushilyam, one of the things we said was Ramachandra was an expert at meeting people where they are and making very wonderful friendships with them. So some people may ask, how can a Kshatriya of this caliber make friendship with somebody who's a tribal, is unsophisticated, uncultured? In one sense, from an external perspective, they can be considered as brutes. But how can they have friendship that Ramachandra says, Atma Sama Sakha? Uh, so that is the nature of Ramachandra. And this gives us solace that although we may be in human bodies, some of us may be born in Brahmin families, yet the sense of being uncultured or unsophisticated or being crass or brutish may reside as part of our character. But we are assured that if we have this sense of devotion for Ramachandra Bhakti, then he will not hesitate in being a very, very close confidant and friend for any one of us. And Guha represents Sharanagati. He's showing with Sharanagati. We discussed last week Bhaktivinoda Thakur's prayer, uh, Manasa Deha Geha Yokichu Mora. Anything that I put in the category of mine, Arpinu Tuvapade, Nanda Kishora, that I offer it to you. And that's what Guha did. He brought everything and everything. He said to Ramachandra, please accept these offerings. In fact, all my ministers are here. You rule this kingdom and we will be your followers. In fact, this belongs to you. Now, before we proceed further, it's not mentioned anywhere whether Ramachandra and Guha had met previously. But just from the phrase of Atma Samasakha, we understand that they would have met previously. Guha, who was living in the forest, is one of the Samanta kings. Samanta means one of the kings who finds sovereignty, or who's in Dasharath Maharaj. So that means he had visited Ayodhya previously, and that's where their friendship had blossomed. But there's no reference, it's just inference of it. So by the time Ramachandra had reached Guha's kingdom, it was in evening time. So when Guha offered all these foodstuffs, Ramachandra said, "Sorry, I cannot accept this wonderful offerings that you've made, including your kingdom. Uh, since you're making an offering as a friend, I cannot say no. At the same time, given the vows that I have taken, I cannot say yes. So this is how I'm going to take care of it. I accept what you give me, your kingdom and everything, and I give it back to you. It is for you." As far as any of this charity of wealth and all that, as a Kshatriya, I cannot take charity from you. It is not within my character or within my dharma to take charity. So Kshatriyas don't take charity. Kshatriyas extract taxes and they give in charity. So for reference, in case when Arjuna goes to meet Duryodhana in Duryodhana's tent, right in the middle of the Kurukshetra war, one evening when Arjuna visits him, Duryodhana welcomes Arjuna very, very lovingly with an embrace and gives him a very wonderful seat to sit down, gets the best of foods for Arjuna, and he asks Arjuna, "What do you want, my dear brother? In fact, right now, if you tell me, give me the entire Hastinapura kingdom, I will give it away right now. All you have to do is just ask." And Arjuna said, "I am a Kshatriya, just as you are, and I cannot live on charity. I cannot take charity from you. I cannot take charity from anyone. At this point, if anything, I will take this kingdom in the rightful Kshatriya way. We are in the middle of a war, and that is how I will take this kingdom." So Kshatriyas don't take charity. So Ramachandra said, "Yet you want to make an offering uh, of service. So how about this? Why don't you make some nice arrangement for the horses?" So Guha immediately was so thrilled that he got some service to do by Ramachandra that he ordered his followers, "Please take care of the horses." So the horses were given the best of fodder, the best of grasses, nice cooling breezed area and gardens to walk along and drink the fresh waters from the rivers. Then that night, for Ramachandra and Sita Devi to lie down, Guha and his followers brought soft grasses and soft leaves from trees and lay it under a fig tree and invited Ramachandra and Sita Devi to lie down. And they happily lay down. So Guha and Lakshmana went a little to the side and stood guard. So Guha, who's excellent host, told Lakshmana, "I am making a bed of soft grass and leaves here for you. Please take some rest." And Lakshmana said, "No, no. How can I take rest if Ramachandra and Sita Devi are lying down there? I cannot take a rest. I have taken a vow to serve them while they are awake and asleep. So I will sit here or stand here. I will sit here and I will guard them." So Guha, who's very eager to hear about Ramachandra, says to Lakshmana, "I will also sit here with you. Please tell me about Ramachandra." So although Guha has already heard what happened in Ayodhya, he wants to hear it from Lakshmana's mouth. So Lakshmana narrates the events that have happened up until this point and why they are in this forest. And then Lakshmana laments this brother of mine and sister-in-law, who are actually eligible and rightful for the most luxurious lifestyles, and for the sake of fulfilling a promise to our father, very happily and peacefully are lying down on this barren ground with grass and leaves, uh, and see how comfortable they look, which means they are completely detached from all these worldly pleasures, although they are meant to enjoy them. This is the true sign of their detachment. And yet, it is very saddening to see them here in the forest like this. So that whole night, Lakshmana and Guha were discussing Ramachandra and Sita Devi. So they had an all-night Ram Katha. Next morning, Ramachandra got up and went to the river, took bath, chanted his Gayatri, and so did Lakshmana and Sita Devi. They all did their part. They wore tree bark, and then Guha brings fruits. And the previous night when Guha offered all these foodstuffs, Ramachandra said, "No, I will only drink water, the Ganges water, and go to bed." Uh, so the reason Ramachandra did not accept is one of the uh, injunctions for a Kshatriya is that when they come to a holy river, they are supposed to fast and just drink the water of the river. So that's what Ramachandra observed. Next morning, when Guha brought little fruits and all that, Ramachandra was asked Lakshmana to please give it to him. And then he told Guha, I need you to go bring the sap of a banyan tree, because that is what the rishis do while they're in the forest, so that their hair is, they apply the sap of the tree to their hair so it can become easily wound into matted locks. We call them jata. So Guha goes and brings for Ramachandra and Lakshmana, and Ramachandra applies to his hair, he applies it to Lakshmana's hair, and then they mat it into a nice jata. And then Ramachandra says, I cannot stay here too long. I have to enter Dandaka forest. So Guha, please make arrangements for a boat that is strong, because we have quite a bit of luggage. All of Sita Devi's clothes, jewelry, our own spade, basket, bows, quivers, arrows, a whole bunch. So get a boat that is nice and strong, and that can go across the Ganges River fast. So Guha immediately gave orders to his people, and they constructed a very, very strong and fast boat. So when they arrive at the bank of the Ganges, Ramachandra tells Lakshmana, please make sure that Sita enters the boat first and is comfortably seated. Then you load everything in the boat, and then I will enter or ascend the boat. And so Lakshmana carefully escorts Sita Devi into the boat, uh, packs and loads everything on the boat. And then when Ramachandra is about to get onto the boat, Sumantra, who's been waiting there with folded hands, asks Ramachandra, what would you like me to do? What are instructions for me? And in the heart of heart, he was hoping Ramachandra will say, get your chariot and horses and everything onto another boat and cross the Ganges River along with us, and we can continue along further. But unfortunately for him, Ramachandra says, turn around and swiftly ride back to Ayodhya. So Sumantra is devastated, and he says, oh my dear Lord, what is the use? What is the use of all of this? I cannot tolerate to see you following brahmacharya. I cannot tolerate you being like this. What is the use of all this? In fact, you have shown that all this brahmacharya and austerity is useless, because what is it bringing to you? It's not bringing any benefit. So Govinda Rajaswamy indicates that Guha, in his ecstasy of separation and in his pain of service, actually did not say the right things. When one takes up an austerity, generally, and the purpose people take on these austerities is that the benefits appear in the next life, not necessarily in this life itself. Because we call that Shreya, not Preya. Shreya is benefits in the long term, in the next life. And the second aspect is that one who is advanced spiritually becomes very indifferent to uh, the karmic reactions that they're facing right now. We call it prarabdha karma. Actually, those who are not spiritually advanced, prarabdha karma creates a whole bunch of challenges and makes the person go off track. But those who are advanced, for them, even if they have prarabdha karma, although they don't have karma, but prarabdha karma, whatever difficulties seem to manifest in front of them, they're indifferent to it. They continue as if nothing has made a difference. So we know from Bhagavad Gita, uh, this famous verse. This is in chapter 6, text number 8, where Krishna is speaking to Arjuna. He says, Jnana Vijnana Triptatma Kutastha Vijitendriya Yukta iti Uchyate Yogi Shama Sama Loshtrashma Kanchana. So Krishna is saying that a person, a yogi, Uchyate Yogi means the person who is known as a yogi. These are the characteristics. Jnana Vijnana Triptatma. That their heart is not hankering for things in this world. Their heart is satisfied from the jnana and vijnana that they have. They have knowledge of themselves, they have knowledge of the Supreme, and they have the knowledge of bhakti and vijnana, and they have the experience of that relationship with the Supreme. So tripta atma, they're completely satisfied. So that's the first. Second, kutastha. Kutastha means that they are fixed uh, in their relationship with Krishna. In 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Dva vimau purushav loke. In this world, there are two types of people, or two categories of people. Ksharas charakshara evacha. Kshara and akshara. Kshara means those who can degrade, and akshara means those who don't degrade. Ksharakshara evacha. Ksharasarvani bhutani. All living entities generally degrade. Kutastho iti uchyate. And the aksharas are called kutastha because they will not degrade. They're so fixed in their relationship with me that they will not degrade. So that's the second quality. Third, he says vijitatmanaha. Vijita atmanaha. Uh, Vijita means one who has gotten victory. And atmanaha, the verse is vijitendriyaha. They have conquered or won over their senses, Vijitendriyaha. And Yukta iti uchyate yogi. Yukta, so they are known as connected. And it's that connection with me that makes them look at the worldly things as if they have no value. So he says, Sama, of equal value, Loshtra is pebbles, small stones, Ashma, stones or boulders, and Kanchana, gold. So when we are walking on the street, hardly we pay any attention to pebbles and stones because they don't have any value for us. And Kanchana is gold. So a great yogi who's connected to Krishna Even if there is gold lying that's easily available, he doesn't pay attention to it, or he or she doesn't pay attention to it, just as much they don't pay any attention to any pebbles or stones that they find along the path when they are walking. So Ramachandra, as that advanced human being, for him, these are not important. So he tells Sumantra, yes, but turn around. There are some reasons why you should go back to Ayodhya, because they're waiting there for you to come back. You were given the orders to leave us up to Dandaka forest and then go back. So if you don't go back, Dasaratha, Kausalya, they will be anxious as to why you have not returned. And they will imagine or consider that some danger has befallen me. And that will be very difficult for them. In fact, they will give up their lives. Now, second reason, if you don't go back, Kaikeyi will not be satisfied, because Kaikeyi will think, oh, there was some other plan on the side, and this was just to satisfy me by sending Ramachandra, but actually on the side, there is this whole plan. So when she sees you and the empty chariot, she will be satisfied. And the third is, Sumantra, you're one of the best ministers of my father. The other ministers may treat Kaikeyi with animosity, and which is not nice. So I want you to go back and make sure that no harm comes to Kaikeyi. Another reason I want you to go back is when Bharata comes back to the kingdom and he becomes the king, I want you to tell him that he should take care of Sumitra and Kausalya, especially Kausalya, better than he takes care of his own mother. That way, he assures me that he has no animosity towards any of my mothers. So your going back is very, very important. So please go back. So Sumantra is heartbroken. He's crying very pathetically because he doesn't want to go back. But Ramachandra, who's very determined, turns around and is about to ascend on the boat when a boatman tells him to stop. Now, what I'm about to narrate is not in Valmiki Ramayana. I referred to Tulsidasa's Ramayana as well, this particular incident. And this incident is there in Tulsi Ramcharitmanasa. But there are more embellishments which are not in Ramcharitmanas but are very sweet. So I will anyway narrate it because it's very sweet about Ramachandra. So this boatman tells Ramachandra, please stop. I cannot allow you to enter the boat. So Ramachandra is very puzzled. He says, why? What is the problem? He says, I have heard some stories about the dust of your lotus feet, Pada Raja. And I have told that that dust has very magical powers. It's very mystical because the dust touched a stone, because there is sometimes reference that Ahalya was a stone. In Valmiki Ramayana, it says Ahalya was not visible. But he says, I've heard that the dust particles touched a stone and the stone actually turned into a woman. Okay. Now, in my case, if the dust of your lotus feet touch my boat, because the boat is made of wood, which is as strong as stone, what if this boat becomes another woman? Then instead of one, I will have two wives. How will I manage? Secondly, my boat is my only means of livelihood. And if you turn that into a woman, I have no way of earning a livelihood. So Ramachandra, Sita, Lakshmana, they all laugh. And so Rama says, so what is your proposal? He says, I want to make sure that this mystical dust does not touch my boat. So I want to thoroughly wash your feet free of any dust. And that way I'll be assured. So Ramachandra laughs and smiles and says, go ahead. And so he brings this big vessel, places Ramachandra's feet, and thoroughly washes Ramachandra's feet, drinks from it, gives it to his family, sprinkles on all the people who are assembled there very thoroughly, and he's assured and he says, "Now I know your feet are clean of the dust. Please enter." And he's so thrilled. Then when they are riding on the boat, he's moving this boat across the Ganges River, and they reach the other side. Then they get off, they unload all their baggage and everything. And this boatman, Ramachandra, is just standing there, and this boatman falls on the ground and clasps Ramachandra's lotus feet very tightly. Now, Ramachandra is wearing tree bark, his hair is matted by banyan tree sap, he has nothing to give him. So he's just standing there silently. And Sita Devi, who understands the heart of her master, removes a ring from her hand and gives it to Ramachandra to give to the boatman. So when Ramachandra offers it to the boatman says, I don't want any remuneration from you. So Ramachandra says, no, this is out of our happiness. Please take. And he says, no, I don't want. I cannot take any remuneration for you. Otherwise, my service will be tainted. I was very thrilled, honored to just do the service of rowing the boat for you. I don't want any remuneration in return. But if you want to give me something, then I only have one desire, that when you return after 14 years, you please give me the service of taking you back to the other side of the Ganges. That will be my only remuneration, that I get another opportunity of service. I mean, it's fantastic that न धनम न जन्म न सुंदरीम कविताम वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनीश्वरे भवताद bhaktir haituki tvai. Again and again, I only ask for service from you and service towards you. So that's the narration of Tulsidas. However, some of the embellishments are this. So when Ramachandra is offering this ring, the boatman says, I cannot take money from somebody who's in the same profession. Persons of same profession don't exchange goods from each other. So, for example, a cloth merchant will not take cloth from another merchant. They will barter other things, but they will not take the same things. So Ramachandra looks at the boatman very quizzically. What do you mean we are in the same profession? I am a Kshatriya. You're a boatman. I am a ruler of kingdoms. You're just a boatman. How can we be in the same profession? So the boatman smilingly says, we are in the same profession, that I take people from one shore of a river to the other shore of the river. And you are also a boatman. You take persons from this side of the Viraja river to that side of the Viraja river into the transcendental world, into your kingdom. So you're also the boatman. And you are that person. So you and I have similar professions. So I cannot take this remuneration from you. And the boatman is actually a tortoise in the milk ocean. So one day in the Kshira Sagara, Lord Vishnu, who's lying down on Anantasesha, his foot touches the milk ocean. So a tortoise that is swimming sees the toe of the Lord and rushes fast to go and lick the beautiful toe of Lord Vishnu. So as soon as the tortoise comes up to lick the toe, Lakshmi Devi, who's sitting by the Lord's feet, looks at the tortoise and shoos him away and does not allow him. So that tortoise has taken birth as this boatman, and while he's washing Ramachandra's feet and drinking the water, he's looking at Sita Devi with a smile, saying, You did not allow me there, but here you cannot stop me. So very happily, his desire has been fulfilled. So Ramachandra and Sita Devi and Lakshmana then cross over the Ganges as they are going through that boat previously. Sita Devi offers great prayers to Ganges. And she says, "Oh Ganges, you are the divine river that flows in the three worlds, Tripathaga. And I am praying to you that let our journey into the forest for 14 years be successful. When I returned with my husband and Lakshmana back to Ayodhya safely, I will give 100,000 cows in charity, and forever I'll be grateful to you. So please make our trip successful." And now that the boatman has left them, Guha and all of his tribesmen, Ramachandra bids farewell and tells them, "Now you wait here. The three of us will enter Dandaka forest." So Guha's land on the Ganges river is called Shringaverapura. And that word appears in the Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana, his Shringaverapuram. And we were fortunate to actually go to Shringaverapuram and went to the bank of the Ganges where Ramachandra crossed. Now, exactly, is that the point or not? I don't know. But the Ganges had receded, so not much water was there. But very, very beautiful place, a place to contemplate on how wonderful Lord Ramachandra is, that to be his devotee, one doesn't have to be born in a Brahmin family, one does not have to have scholarship, or one doesn't need to be erudite, one doesn't need to be rich, one doesn't need to be anything. One can be as crass, unsophisticated, and uncultured like a tribal, but if there is a spark of affection for the Lord and it is demonstrated as some humble service, all he brought was fruits and berries, patram pushpam phalam toyam. That's all he brought. But the Lord says, "Yo me bhaktya prayachati." That's a famous verse because the word bhakti appears twice in it. Patram pushpam phalam toyam, yo me bhaktya prayachati, tadamaham aphartam bhaktyam. I accept lovingly whatever my devotee offers me. Ashnami prayatatmaraha. I eat it. I accept it. Ashnami is I eat. So Shringaverapuram is a place where bhakti in its simplistic but very, very strong way can be meditated upon and practiced. So then Ramachandra tells Lakshmana, "You walk ahead. We'll have Sita right in the middle, and I will follow suit. And three of us will walk along this path, finding our next place of destination, next place of residence. So let's keep walking." And that is where chapter 52 ends. So we'll pause here and see if you have any questions or comments or thoughts.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. This is Vachaspati.
Yeah, Haribol.
So earlier you were talking about how Lakshmana and Guha were chanting Gayatri near the river. So I was wondering.
Ramachandra and Lakshmana, not Guha.
Oh, okay. So I was wondering, since they're Kshatriyas, how do they chant the Gayatri mantra? Because isn't it like Brahmanas who chant it typically?
No. Gayatri mantra, Dvijas are, Dvija means twice born, are the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas. All three wear the Brahman thread. All three. Dvija means these three. Only Shudras don't go through uh, this purificatory ceremony. But Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishya, all three do.
Okay, yeah.
Hare Krishna. A question on the when you were saying that the boatman asked Lord Ram to allow him to carry him back when he returns, but my understanding is that he returned to Ayodhya on the Pushpak Vimana. So did that mean that Lord Ram never agreed to that?
He asked for that service, and what he got was a whole bunch of bhakti credits. So it's not that every service that I ask for is necessarily to be fulfilled. And that doesn't mean that the Lord is not happy. I can propose any kind of service, but Ramachandra only smiled. He didn't say yes or no.
Prabhu, I have a question. So
Yeah.
When usually any
Oh, by the way, 1 second, Haridwani. By the way, Yashodanandan, I will check again. But even when they come on Pushpaka Vimana, they don't enter Ayodhya directly. Lord Ramachandra stops where Bharata is and meets Bharata, and then again goes back to Ayodhya. I have to go check if he flies back on Pushpaka Vimana into Ayodhya or takes the horse and boat and all that. I can't remember right now.
Okay.
But regardless, it doesn't mean that it has to be fulfilled that way.
Thank you.
So usually when devotees are saying about this pastime of Guha hosting Lord Ram, Sita and Lakshman, so usually they say like Lakshman was guarding Sita and Ram, and then Guha was considering that Lakshman was trying to shoot them, and then he tries to oversee what Lakshman was doing, and then the entire citizens of Guha were trying to protect. So is that something that's there in Valmiki Ramayana or?
No. So there are certain commentaries that say Guha was also awake all night because he was concerned whether Lakshmana himself can protect Ramachandra and Sita Devi. So he was also there to assist. Another commentary says, and I didn't intentionally say it because it just confuses. Another commentary says Lakshmana was awake all night because he was doubtful about Guha, and Guha was awake all night because he was doubtful about Lakshmana. So the both of them were awake all night.
Okay.
Hare
So
Krishna
that comes
Prabhu.
in commentaries, not in.
No.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, this is Krishna
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna. Yes.
Prabhuji, I have two questions. When this is on the topic of principles, so when Guha was giving gifts to Ramchandra did not take, saying that Kshatriya Dharma is not taking. And similar thing you quoted in Arjuna. So in the same Mahabharat, when the Arjuna did not take whatever the Duryodhana was offering, but at a different time, when Bhishma Dev owed that next day is going to kill all Pandavas and all the five arrows, he gave it to Duryodhana. But at that time, if I remember correctly, Arjuna went and asked for those arrows on the advice of the Krishna. So that means, especially in Mahabharat, the same principle is applied differently at different place, time and circumstances. Is it a right understanding that the principle cannot be always materially looked at same way, but it should be applied depending on the situation and other things?
There's a difference between charity and gift. Okay. So when gifts are given or taken is different. Charity is given from a higher realm to a lower realm. That's the consciousness. Someone higher is giving someone lower something. So it's called charity. Kshatriyas don't accept charity, but they will accept gifts, no problem. Kshatriyas always exchange gifts. When a Kshatriya visits another Kshatriya, they will bring horses, elephants, gold, and give us gifts. So gift giving is different from charity. When Duryodhana said to Arjuna, take away this kingdom, I'll give it away to you as charity, he said, I don't want it. But when Duryodhana asked Arjuna, what gift do you want from me? He said, I want those 5 arrows.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Then my another question, Prabhu, in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says one should follow his or her swadharma. So when we talk about, I always get confused. When we talk about swadharma, means it's all for the mankind, or it's a individual basis. My swadharma could be different from others. So how do I understand if that is the case?
Everyone's swadharma is different, but those swadharmas fall into 4 major categories: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So Krishna says Guna Karma Vibhagasha. So our swadharma is not so individual. Although it is individualistic, it fits one of the 4 categories. There isn't a 5th category. Of course, Nishadas, Chandalas and all that are different, but generally will fall in one of the 4 categories. So there are certain dharmas for those 4 categories, and one should follow them under all circumstances.
Okay. So that means a person who may take birth in particular ashram, so they have to stick to that ashram.
A person doesn't take birth in an ashram. Person takes birth in a varna.
I'm sorry, varna.
However, varna is not decided by birth only. There may be a tendency, but not necessarily deciding factor. So a factor of varna is one's own nature. That's why it is called swadharma, swabhava. So somebody who's born in a Kshatriya family may not have Kshatriya qualities. Somebody born in a Brahmana family may possibly not have Brahmana qualities. Although most generally they may, it makes them eligible, but they may or may not have. Varna is not decided by birth. Krishna says Guna Karma Vibhagasha. In the previous times, birth seemed to indicate Varna. Seemed to, but not always.
Thank you.
You seem
Prabhu.
confused, Krishna Prema. Is that okay? Did I?
Yes, Prabhuji.
All right. All right. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Oh, Haribol.
Just a follow-up question about Swadharma. Arjuna's Swadharma was to fight. His proclivity was to fight. So Krishna said that it's better you do your own dharma, Swadharma bhaya, Paradharma bhayavaya, rather than doing the other dharma, which is harmful and dangerous. And in 18th chapter also it says that Swabhava niyatam karma, because you will act according to your Swabhav. But let's say if I say let's say if someone nature is to do devotional service more than which he was born in his own varna. For example, a person born in a Brahman varna or Kshatriya varna or Shudra varna or any varna, but his proclivity is to more do devotional service, then how does we understand this thing?
Because bhakti does not fit varna. It's not in the duty of a varna. Bhakti is the swadharma of the soul. The varna belongs to the body, not to the soul. So a person, the idea of Bhagavad Gita is to align the dharma of, or the varna or the dharma of the body with the dharma of the soul. Generally, they are disjointed. They are like this. I've been showing this picture. The dharma of the body is this way. The dharma of the soul may be that way. Therefore, Krishna tells Arjuna, Mam anusmara yudhyacha. That is the aligning factor. That you as a Kshatriya, your dharma is to protect. Kshatriya's dharma is not to fight, it's to protect. And for protection, they fight. So he says, Mam Anusmara Yudhyacha. So that way, the function or the dharma of the soul is taken care of, dharma of the body is taken care of, and they are done together. For a Brahmana, it will also look differently. For a Vaishya, it will be looking differently. So there, everybody, regardless of Varna, regardless of ashram, can and should perform bhakti. How they perform it depends on the Varna that they are part of.
That makes sense. But Krishna again says that sarva dharma parityaja, so that even if we reject all the varnas and we go to the bhakti process, it is not a loss, right?
It is a loss if done immaturely or done as a way or means of escaping one's duties. So if one is very fixed on bhakti and they fully realized the place of bhakti, then Narada Muni also says, Tyaktva swadharmam charanam bhujam hare. It's okay. There is not much loss. However, you will find that in most cases, they don't prematurely or immaturely give up their own dharmas like that. They will find how within their dharma they will fulfill the needs of bhakti to a point where then they will take a different route. In very rare cases, they will neglect their own dharma.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, I wanted to understand what is the significance of I that way I understand that it is very auspicious to wash the feet of great elevated souls, but just wanted to know the what is the science behind that? Not science, but just what is there behind, like we do in Vyas Puja also, washing feet and taking Charanamrut. So can you please tell me? And I have just one more question.
Well, according to scripture, there are 4 things we are supposed to take from great souls, including the Lord. Dust of the lotus feet. Therefore, we touch someone's great personality's feet. The water that has washed their feet, we call it Charana Amrita. And the Amrita, the taste for it comes from the dust in the feet. Charana Amrita. Therefore, Ganges river, everyone takes a bath in that river and drinks that water, is because Ganges is Charanamrita. Third is Uchishta, foodstuffs that have been left behind. And the fourth is instructions. Any one of these has the full potency to make a person fully self-realized. When taken, of course, with faith, they have that potency. So that is the tradition of washing feet and sprinkling that water on one's head or drinking the Charanamrit. It's for the dust from the lotus feet.
Okay, Prabhu, thank you so much. That's very nice.
And there's a whole half-an-hour class on the dust of the lotus feet. Not today.
Okay. So I would be waiting for that opportunity, Prabhu. And my second question is when you explained that.
Let me say two things. Just because you asked. So we sing Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma. So why do we call Charana Padma? Is because the feet are considered a lotus leaf, because lotus has this pollen that are like dust particles, the saffron of it, which are potent enough to relieve material distress and awaken one's spiritual identity. So we worship the lotus feet of the Guru. That's one reason. Another is those feet have traveled here and there, and delivered many conditioned souls. That's another reason. Third, that wherever the lotus feet are, because the personality is carrying the Lord in the heart, the place that they are standing, the dust that they are standing on, becomes the dust of Vrindavan or any holy place. So that dust is very potent. So like that, there is a list. Not today, but
Yeah, Prabhu, that is very beautiful. Thank you so much for doing that. And the second question I had was Guha did not want to accept the ring that Sita Devi handed over to Lord Ram. And
this
I
is
was
not
thinking,
Guha, it's the boatman, not Guha.
sorry, the boatman. So I was thinking that, I mean, how difficult it might be to deny anything coming from the Lord, because whatever He is giving, it is totally His mercy, right? And how can one say no to anything He's giving?
Yeah, because two different levels of bhakti consciousness. One level of bhakti consciousness is whatever you give, I will happily accept. And the other says, I don't want these things, I only want service to do. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundaram. Na dhanam, I don't want. Even when the Lord says, ask whatever you want, I'm willing to give you, I don't want.
So, do one need to be cautious about this or something?
No,
What kind of consciousness
no,
there?
no, both are fantastic. Both are great. If the Lord gives something, accepting it also is very joyful. But to say, no, just give me some service to do is also joyful. Nothing wrong. Each time the heart can very wonderfully manifest whatever emotions there are. There's no rule. Love has no rules.
Thank you very much.
Rules are required to manifest the love, but the love has no rules.
Wow. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Mhm.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. This is Sarvabhauma Das.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, one question is in terms of reputation. So, as you have said, as we discussed, Natanam Najanam Nasundarim Kapitam Prajagadishikamaya. So, the question is, when you talk about, say, practicing devotees or in terms of Mahajans, like Bali Maharaj, he said he is scared of losing reputation, that he is not able to fulfill Baman Dev's request. And also, as Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned that if Arjuna is not going to fight, it will go against his reputation. So, just wanted to know, in terms of the devotee's life, how this, I don't know, maybe material or spiritual perspective, how this reputation plays into role when you say Nadanam, Najanam, Nasundaram, means when somebody is just targeting the service, where reputation comes into picture. How do you look at it?
One doesn't want any reputation for themselves. The point that about you mentioned about Bali Maharaj or Arjuna is the reputation is that they represent great lineages. Bali Maharaj comes from a great lineage. Prahlad Maharaj is there as his grandfather. For Arjuna, Yudhishthir Maharaj is his older brother. They are in the Kuru dynasty. So they don't want anything for themselves, but they don't want to be the cause of tarnishing the great reputation of their line. So for a practicing devotee also, we may not want anything for ourselves, but we don't want to act in ways or behave in ways or speak in ways that brings a tarnish or which tarnishes the disciplic succession that we are part of. If we behave in, let's say, unethical ways, or we behave in immoral ways, then people will say, Prabhupada's followers or ISKCON devotees, they're no good. That is the reputation we have to be guarding or safeguarding. I mean, not that we are the flag bearers, but we are all contributors.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
1 minute, I haven't done with Sarvabhauma. Give me 1 second, Mataji. So Sarvabhauma, does that address your concern?
Yes, Prabhu. Thanks for the answer. Hare Krishna.
You're welcome. Yes, Mataji. Sorry. How can I serve you?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Sorry
Hare
for the
Krishna. No problem.
I had a question. You said we need to touch the lotus feet of great devotees and we need to take obeisances. But
Yes.
I have also been told that we should not touch the lotus feet of such exalted devotees because it can leads to a shift in karma, like our bad karma goes into them and we can mentally lose consciousness. Is that true, Prabhu?
No, we don't touch each other's feet. First, let's take the touching the feet of the great souls. By touching the feet of the great souls, the principle is true that our bad karmic reactions are burnt by their fire or power of bhakti. So we can touch their feet. So when you go to temple, if you touch Prabhupada's lotus feet, great. But when in ordinary exchanges, if people touch each other's feet, then we're just giving each other karmic reaction, technical. It's not that if I touch, all my bad karma comes to you. Principally, yes, that is what it means, because I am taking someone's shelter. That person should be capable enough to shelter me from my karmic reactions. So anyone who's eligible, such person's lotus feet we touch. Therefore, we make a distinction. There is a difference between lotus feet and cactus feet. Most feet are cactus feet. The great acharyas and advanced devotees have lotus feet. Everyone doesn't have lotus feet.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
You're welcome. All right, that's 11:09. Let's stop here. I have a packed day. Thank you very much. We'll meet again next week. Shri Ramachandra, Lakshmana and Sita Devi meet Bharadwaja Muni. And Lakshmana, who is always there with Ramachandra, gets another test from Ramachandra, which thankfully he passes very well, but one more test coming up. Okay. Hare Krishna. See you again next Sunday. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ji ki jai.
Jai.